Hey everybody, it's Christy Scott, and I am finally back to give you the little video of how I organize all my craft stuff in my RV. So basically behind me is our nice spacious closet, and that's where I keep everything. There's a lot of options around here, but that's where I chose, and I'm going to show you how much I've pared my craft stash down to. I mean, I know you don't know what it looked like before, but I'll kind of tell you as we go, and maybe I'll be able to scrounge up a picture, but I'll show you what it's narrowed down to and how I have it organized. Okay, so basically we have sort of a his and hers thing going on here, hubby's side, my side, and back here on my side, I have clothes up top, and then the bottom is my craft stash. So all I gotta do is scooch these clothes out of the way, pardon the big fluffy yellow dress, and this is my entire craft stash. Now I will say that this bag is only here temporarily. It's all full of yarn for one blanket project. If I don't end up making that blanket, I'm gonna just have to get rid of this yarn, but that's what this is, and so it's really just these bins. Now with that duffel bag removed, you can see that I have 3 bins that compose my entire craft stash, and I'm going to pull them out and show you what's what. Alright, so here is the stash in its entirety, complete with Kitten, who is angry that the lights are on because she was napping. And I always keep this bag just kind of shoved in there with everything. It's a nice big one that's also good for like a big stash of yarn for a blanket. I love that bag. It's kind of too big for anything else. Then this is the duffel that's full of yarn for one project. This was all for a baby blanket that I did not make. Well, except that one. Sorry, I lied. But the rest is all for one blanket that I started and did not get very far on. So we're not going to talk about that right now. I have to yet decide if I'm going to do anything about that or not. And when I'm not using that duffel, it folds away really flat. So I'm going to save this one till last because it's my favorite, but this is all of the tools kind of supplies. This one is yarn, and this one is project bags. Or, well, project bags and works in progress. So in my yarn bin, I have my sticker from Fabric Bliss in Denver, where I took my sewing classes. It's not hoarding if it's a stash. Something we all should live by, right? So, bam! I'm not going to go through all of my yarn, but that just gives you a little overview. And this is like kind of pared down to the stuff I absolutely wanted to keep. This is going to be for my stepdaughter, and several of these are for my husband, ones that he just loves for me to make him stuff with. I have a couple of these that were really expensive and I got for a Christmas gift that I still need to do something with. And these are for a work in progress that I have. This is just my favorite color left over from something else I made. So all kinds of good stuff. And these are from a sweater that I'm supposedly making for my father-in-law that I started forever ago. We're not going to talk about that either. Okay, and then I've condensed down to one bin my works in progress, my whips, and I also have some extra project bags in here, I believe. So I promised I was going to show you my whips, so I'll probably do that after I pull all these out. Whip, whip. This is the sweater, but apparently it's not in a bag. I think that's the bag I stole for my cross-stitching stuff. That's extra cross-stitch fabric. I don't know how that got in there. I never promised that I was really super organized. Okay, so looks like actually right now none of them are empty. But I'll kind of show you what I got going on here. So this will be kind of a mystery surprise for me. Pretty sure I know what's in them, but this should be a hat. Yeah, I started this hat. Wow, I didn't even realize I started it. For a friend of mine, Kate. and I need to finish that. Didn't even realize I had started it. I thought it was just the yarn. So that's one. And then here, got the pattern for it in here. This is the beautiful yellow one I showed you guys a picture of in one of my other videos that I have started. There we go. And this, I tried to explain what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like. So the part that I've made so far is this part up around the neck, or that's the part I'm working on, that you can see with all the pretty cables. But it's going to have sort of these 3 separate braids that hang around it. It's really cool. I have got to finish that because I just love it. And in my cute little sheet bag, I got this at Yarn Fest last year, and I just absolutely love it. Isn't that cute? I got one of my little micro-sized preemie blankets I'm working on, which I mentioned to you guys. So that's as big as it's going to be. And I'm not really necessarily trying to finish it. It's just one of those things that I work on whenever I come back to knitting, so I can get my gauge going well again, and or when I need to do something really simple because I'm talking. So there's that one. This is the sweater I started for my father-in-law, and this is the back piece. You kind of see the shape of it there. He's a tiny size medium, and this is just a simple mock rib, or I forget what this one is called. It's where you do one knit, one purl all the way across. And I really like the texture that gives. It's really thick and warm. And then this one, this is another chicken boots bag, guys. It's actually exactly like the one that I showed you my cross stitch stuff in the first time. I started this at Yarn Fest over a year ago. Beautiful hand-dyed hot pink yarn that I found there. It's really soft too. And this is all I had done, but I took a class in lace charts and such, and I did this little amount, and this is the goal someday of where I'm going with it. So I've done like this part right here. That's about it. Maybe someday I will get around to it, but it requires so much concentration. So those are all my works in progress, and they've been living here untouched for quite some time, but I did manage to, get it down to only what I really wanted to keep, and it all fits in the one bin. That's it. Okay, so now for the third bin. This is my favorite bin, all the tools and stuff. That's the stuff I just geek out over. This is another bag made by Chicken Boots, guys, and it's made for an interchangeable needle set. This is the double one. So it has 2 levels here, and in the front I have all the cords for my interchangeable needle sets, and I've gone ahead and labeled them with sizes. And in case you guys are going to ask me, these little paper flags are available at Walmart and Target, kind of in the same section where you find Post-its and binder clips and that kind of stuff. So they're just little cheap office supply things, and I use them in my craft stuff so I can label all my sizes. Then you flip these up. I've got one of my sets here. These are Addie needle sets. There's quite a few missing because, as you saw, I have a lot of whips. they're in there. And this is my lace set. So they're longer and, oh no, sorry, other way around. This is the regular set, the other one's the lace set. And then on the sides, I have the crochet hooks. I also got those made by Addie, and they are also interchangeable. And so I can use this as just a crochet hook, or I can put them onto the cords and do double-ended stuff or Tunisian stuff. So there's that. And then that has a nice zipper pouch on the back if you wanted to do all your tools and such, but I just have all of my Addy sets in there, all of my instructions and stuff. Some things are in sort of separate bags because this would be something I would throw into one of my bags when I'm working on a project, for example. So I've just got some cable needles, and these are little crochet hooks. They're actually really cool if you haven't seen them, but when you're knitting, you want the small crochet hooks to help you pick up stitches and stuff. So I have this set. There's actually 3 of them. Anyway, I can't get them all out right now, but there are several different sizes of double-ended crochet hooks, so you have any size that you would need for picking up stitches. I've got a needle gauge in there, scissors, needles, stitch markers, and these little red heart guys are end caps for the Addy interchangeable needle set. So if you wanted to take them out of a work in progress so you could use the size on something else, you would just put the little end caps on so that the cord stays in your work while you could use the needles on a different project. Okay, so correction, it's been so long since I looked. What's in here is my long and short regular interchangeable set, and I left the lace ones in the case they came in. It's this pretty pink leather case, needle gauge, cords, and there's my needles. So I've got my other Addy needle set in here. Alright, then I have another chicken boots case. Another gift from my hubby. And this one is for all of my DPNs. And you'll recognize the little flags. Ooh, sorry. You recognize the little flags. And I keep track of all my sizes that way. Love this case. And just like all of the other awesome chicken boots stuff, it's got the zipper on the back that you could keep supplies in. I have a bunch of stuff that's kind of floating around in here that really shouldn't be. This is the only other thing that's like really important, which is my crochet roll. This is made by Q. It has all the sizes labeled, and I've got all my hooks in there. Rolls up nice and doesn't take up too much space, which is just great. And there's the brand if you want to look it up. It's worked really well for me. Everything else that's in here is a little bit more random. I've just got a bunch of extra little supplies. These are like ball winders. You can start a ball around them. I didn't end up liking them that much, but for some reason I still have them. And these are little cardboard cutouts I made for making pom-poms. Wrist brace, because a lot of times my wrist starts hurting when I start doing this stuff. Cute little set of tiny little glittery yarn skeins I bought that I definitely want to use for something, maybe for like making different Christmas ornaments and stuff. Extra crochet hooks. This is just like the really tiny steel ones for lace and such, which I've never used, but I got the whole set that came with it, so I just hang on to those just in case. This is a beautiful Addy needle set with Swarovski crystals in it, size 15s, that my dad got me for Christmas a couple years ago. And I've used them once, but I definitely hope to use them again. And then I just have some little stuff I got from Yarn Fest, little goodies, lotion and cleanser for your finished pieces and such. And this is a little thing of metallic thread. It's like the heat sensing kind, so you can sew it or stitch it into any gloves you might make so that they are able to transfer through to you can use your iPhone or iPad or whatever, whereas normally you can't do that with gloves on. So it just comes with a little bit of thread and I just wanted that to either add to store-bought gloves or to use when I make some of my own. Extra Addie stuff. I even have a little chicken boots card I got in the mail. That's how much I love chicken boots, guys, and that's the whole set of stuff I've got. I've got that pattern. This is an old chicken boots bag. She doesn't make this one anymore, but I've hung on to it for lots of extra little supplies and such, which is where all this loose stuff should be. And then this is a closure for a wrap that I made, which I do not have with me. It's in my winter stuff in my storage unit, but I want to use this closure on the wrap. And I picked that up at a knitting shop. So that's it. That's everything that's in there. And this is really everything I need for being able to do all of my crafts in an RV. And then I've got the bag of cross-stitching stuff, which can also go in here right on top of the duffel bag when I put it all away in the closet. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I organize my craft stash today.